Make him feel the pain of losing you, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about power. The power of knowing who you are, what you deserve, and walking away like a queen who refuses to be an option. You see, when someone takes you for granted, the biggest mistake you can make is proving your worth to them. No, darling, you don't prove, you become. Become so focused on yourself, your growth, your joy, that the only thing he's left with is regret. There is no revenge in screaming, no justice in begging. The real revenge is evolution. The real power is reinvention. You don't need to tell him what he lost. Let the empty space you leave behind remind him every single day. Let the silence echo louder than your words ever could. Heal, transform, and then win. Win so hard that your name becomes a whisper of what if in his mind. Let him watch as you shine brighter than ever, knowing he lost a woman who was never meant to be confined, never meant to be ordinary. You don't lose people. People lose you. And once he realizes what he had, he'll understand the pain of losing someone who was once his greatest blessing. Knowing your worth is not just about self-love. It is about self-respect. It is about understanding that you are not an option, not a convenience, not someone who should be taken for granted. When you truly know your worth, you stop settling for half-hearted love, for empty promises, for someone who treats you like you are replaceable. You realize that your presence is a privilege, not a favor. You are not here to convince anyone to see your value. You are here to live your life in a way that makes it impossible to ignore. When a person assumes that you will always be there no matter how they treat you, they stop appreciating you. The comfort of knowing that you will always forgive, always stay, always try one more time makes them careless. They stop putting in effort, stop showing up for you in the way that you deserve, because they believe you will never walk away. That belief is where their power lies. The moment you take that power back, the moment you decide that you are done proving your worth to someone who refuses to see it, you shift everything. You remind them that love is not guaranteed, that devotion is not an obligation, that presence is not permanence. There is no greater realization than understanding that you are complete on your own, that your happiness, your success, your peace are not dependent on anyone else's validation. When you walk away, you do not lose, you free yourself. You give yourself permission to demand more, to expect more, to receive more. And when they finally look around and realize that you are no longer standing there, waiting, hoping, giving, that is when they feel the weight of your absence. That is when they feel the pain of losing you. There is no greater transformation than the one that happens when you decide to choose yourself. It is not about revenge, not about proving a point. It is about elevation. When you shift your focus from them to you, when you take all that energy you are wasting on trying to be seen, trying to be valued, trying to be enough, and pour it into your own growth, you become unstoppable. You stop waiting for an apology, stop expecting closure, stop hoping that they will realize what they had before it's too late. Instead, you make a decision to rise, to rebuild, to become something so untouchable that their absence becomes irrelevant. The moment you stop chasing, stop fighting for someone who refuses to fight for you, you step into your power. You reclaim every part of yourself that was slowly dimming under the weight of their neglect. You start taking care of yourself in ways you never did before. You prioritize your health, your mind, your soul. You work on your goals with an energy that is fierce and unshakable. You invest in your happiness the way you once invested in them. And in that process, something magical happens. You glow, not just physically, but from within. You radiate a confidence, a peace, a kind of beauty that is undeniable. They will notice. Oh, they will notice. They will watch as the woman they once overlooked turns into a version of herself they never expected. They will hear your name in rooms they never imagined you would walk into. They will see your success in ways that haunt them. They will realize that while they were busy treating you as if you were ordinary, you were quietly becoming extraordinary. And that realization will hit them in ways they never saw coming. But here's the thing. By the time they realize it, you won't care anymore. Because this transformation isn't for them, it is for you. It is for the woman who almost settled, who almost shrunk herself, who almost stayed in a place that was beneath her. It is for the woman who almost forgot how powerful she was. You do not grow to make them regret losing you. You grow because you owe it to yourself to become everything they failed to see. There is something deeply powerful about silence, about choosing to walk away without explanations, without warnings, without second chances. When you stop begging to be chosen and start choosing yourself, you teach them a lesson they will never forget. You teach them that you were never theirs to keep. You teach them that love is not something to be taken lightly. You teach them that you were a force, a once-in-a-lifetime kind of woman, and they let you slip away. The pain of losing you does not come from your words, from your anger, from your attempts to make them understand what they did wrong. It comes from the absence. From waking up one day and realizing that the person who once gave them unconditional love, who believed in them, who stood by them, is now gone. That kind of loss does not happen instantly. It builds slowly as they watch you thrive, as they see you living your best life without them, as they hear about your success from mutual friends, as they scroll through pictures of you looking happier than ever. It creeps into their mind late at night when they wonder if they made the biggest mistake of their life. The best part? You won't even be thinking about them. You will be too busy creating the life you always deserved, too busy becoming the woman you were always meant to be, too busy winning in ways they never expected. And that is what will make them feel the pain of losing you. When someone leaves your life, when someone fails to see your worth, the biggest mistake you can make is letting that loss break you. You don't shrink yourself. You don't sit around questioning what you did wrong, and you definitely don't let their absence make you feel like you are not enough. No, you rise. You glow up in every possible way. You shift your focus so fiercely onto yourself that the only thing left behind is the memory of the person you used to be, the one who tolerated less than they deserved, the one who gave and gave without receiving, the one who believed that love meant staying even when it was no longer being returned. That version of you no longer exists. The truth is, there is no greater revenge than reinvention. Not revenge in the way most people think, not bitterness, not anger, not trying to make someone jealous. No, the real revenge is becoming untouchable. It is looking in the mirror and knowing that you are becoming the best version of yourself, not for them, but for you. It is waking up every morning with purpose, chasing goals you once put on hold, prioritizing your health, your mind, your peace, your happiness. It is learning new things, stepping out of your comfort zone, surrounding yourself with people who uplift you. It is traveling to places you've always dreamed of, finding joy in the little things, falling in love with your life in a way you never did before. Because the moment you decide to focus on yourself instead of them, something shifts. You no longer care about what they are doing, who they are with, or whether they miss you. You are too busy creating a life so fulfilling that the past becomes nothing more than a chapter you no longer feel the need to reread. And while you are evolving, while you are glowing, they are watching. They are realizing, they are understanding piece by piece what they lost. You see, people don't always recognize what they had when it's right in front of them. Comfort makes them careless. The certainty that you were always there, always waiting, always forgiving, made them forget that love is not something to be taken for granted. And so they let you go, believing you would always look back, believing they would always have access to you, but what they never considered was what would happen if you finally chose yourself. And that is when they start feeling the pain of losing you, not in the moment you walk away, but in the days, weeks, months that follow. When they see you thriving, when they hear about you doing things you once only dreamed of, when they realize you are no longer the same person they left behind, and it stings, because while you were busy rebuilding yourself, they were busy assuming you would always be there. They will start to wonder, start to regret, start to replay all the ways they could have treated you better, appreciated you more, fought for you harder. But by then, it won't matter, because you will be too far ahead, too focused on your own happiness, too deeply in love with the person you've become. The pain of losing you is not about missing your presence. It is about realizing that they lost someone who was irreplaceable, that they let go of someone who was meant to be cherished, and now all they have left is the memory of what could have been. And the most powerful thing you can do? Keep growing, keep shining, keep living. Let them feel the weight of their choices in silence while you continue to rise. Let them watch as the woman they once thought they could live without becomes someone they will never be able to forget. There is an undeniable power in living unapologetically. It is about breaking free from expectations, from limitations, from the need to shrink yourself to fit into spaces that were never meant to hold you. It is about stepping into your truth without hesitation, without seeking permission, without explaining yourself to anyone who fails to understand your worth. Because for too long you have been taught to dim your light, to be accommodating, to put others before yourself, even when it drained you, even when it made you question your own value. But not anymore. Now you choose yourself. Now you choose to live boldly, fearlessly, and without regret. There is something liberating about no longer caring what people think, about no longer adjusting yourself to make others comfortable. You stop second-guessing your choices, stop watering yourself down to be more digestible. You stop apologizing for being ambitious, for dreaming big, for wanting more. You stop holding back parts of yourself in the hope that someone will accept you. Instead, you embrace who you are fully and unapologetically, because you finally understand that the right people, the ones who truly deserve to be in your life, will never ask you to be less than who you are. When you live unapologetically, you redefine love, success, happiness on your own terms. You don't wait for someone else to validate your existence. You don't settle for half love, half effort, half dreams. You take up space, you make noise, you claim everything that was always meant for you. You wear your confidence like armor, not because you need to prove anything to anyone, but because you have nothing to prove at all. And the moment you start living this way, the people who once underestimated you will feel it. They will see the shift in you, the way you carry yourself differently, the way your presence commands attention without effort. They will hear your name in conversations they were never meant to be a part of. They will see your success in ways they never imagined. And it will hit them that they once had access to this version of you, but they never appreciated it. That they had a front row seat to your greatness, but they took it for granted. Because when you live unapologetically, you do not just move on, you evolve. You become someone unrecognizable to those who thought they knew you. The things that once held you back no longer affect you. The opinions that once made you doubt yourself now mean nothing. The people who once made you feel small now watch from a distance as you rise beyond what they ever thought possible. There is a unique kind of pain in realizing that the person you once overlooked, the person you once underestimated, has now become untouchable. And that is exactly what happens when you stop holding back, when you stop playing small, when you finally decide that you will not let anyone else dictate the way you live your life. You become the person they regret losing, not because you tried to make them regret it, but because you chose to be everything they thought you couldn't be. Living unapologetically means you no longer beg to be seen, to be chosen, to be loved the way you deserve. You give that love to yourself. You choose yourself every single day. You become so deeply in love with the life you are creating that the past no longer matters. You are too focused on what is ahead, too invested in your own happiness, too consumed by the fire inside you to ever look back. And as you continue to live freely, boldly, without hesitation, they will feel it. They will see everything you were meant to be, everything they failed to appreciate, everything they lost when they let you go. There is no greater satisfaction than watching your life unfold in ways that even you once doubted were possible. Success, happiness, confidence, these are the things that make a person feel the weight of their choices. When someone loses you, when they fail to appreciate your presence, they expect you to break, to shrink, to disappear into sadness. They expect you to spend your days mourning their absence, to sit in the pain of what could have been. But what they never expect is for you to rise, for you to evolve so fiercely that their absence becomes irrelevant. They never expect you to build a life so full, so abundant, so untouchable that they are left wondering if they ever really knew you at all. Winning is not about proving a point to anyone but yourself. It is about realizing that you were never defined by who walked away, who failed to see your worth, who chose to take you for granted. It is about shifting your energy toward what truly matters: your dreams, your growth, your peace. You stop looking back, stop waiting for an apology that will never come, stop hoping that one day they will finally understand what they lost. You put that energy into yourself instead, and in doing so, you become the version of yourself that you were always meant to be. There is a silent kind of power in moving forward without hesitation. You start setting goals that have nothing to do with them and everything to do with you. You start waking up every morning with excitement, knowing that each day is an opportunity to get closer to the life you deserve. You work harder, push yourself further, and find joy in the process of becoming. And with every small victory, every milestone, every moment of triumph, you prove, not to them, but to yourself, that you were always meant for more. People notice when you start winning. They hear about it in conversations they were never invited into. They see it in the way your confidence radiates, in the way you walk into a room with a presence they cannot ignore. They feel it when they realize that you no longer think about them, no longer need them, no longer hold space for their memory. And that is when the pain of losing you truly begins to settle in, because nothing stings more than realizing that the person they once thought they could live without has become someone they can never have again. Your success, your happiness, your glow. These are not things that require validation. You do not win so that they will regret losing you. You win because you refuse to let their absence define you. You win because you deserve every beautiful thing that this world has to offer. You win because you owe it to yourself to step into your full potential, to embrace every opportunity, to create a life so fulfilling that the past becomes nothing more than a lesson learned. And as you continue to rise, as you continue to build, as you continue to chase everything you once thought was out of reach, they will watch. They will watch from a distance as the person they once took for granted becomes someone they can never reach again. They will see the success, the joy, the undeniable power that comes from choosing yourself. They will see the love you give yourself, the confidence you wear so effortlessly, the way the world embraces you in a way they never did. And they will realize, far too late, that they let go of something extraordinary. There is no greater revenge, no sweeter justice than living a life so full, so vibrant, so successful that they are left with nothing but the memory of what they lost. Because in the end, the greatest pain of losing you is knowing that you never needed them to begin with. The greatest power you will ever hold is the ability to walk away and never look back. The moment you stop seeking closure, stop waiting for recognition, stop hoping that they will realize your worth, you free yourself. You step into a life where you are no longer defined by their absence, but by your own presence. Strong, radiant, unstoppable. Let them feel the silence. Let them watch from a distance as you become everything they never thought you could be. Let them understand, too late, that losing you was not just losing a person, it was losing a once-in-a-lifetime force. Because the truth is, you were never meant to be an option. You were always meant to be the prize. And once they realize that, the pain of losing you will be theirs to carry forever.